Hello everyone, I'm Jack, and a lot of news piling up about this one actually caught me a surprise. I remember that Tekken 8 is not in a good position right now. They fuck up so hard. The way how they did it is it start like this. So you push more on the esports type of crowd. So you turn Tekken in a competitive esports game. Not a good sign. And then you see the monetization within the cosmetics. Of course, people are just going to get absolutely displeased compared to what they receive on Tekken 7. Then you see like how the game is toned down with the female characters. We saw the fucking shit show with the black chess, silver chess Asuka, the Senator Asuka, uh, Abby Smash. So, you get the idea because how, even before ranting about what people say in that comment section, look at this. A reminder, we covered this one. That these fuckers say, oh, we did a fix. It was just a bug with one data. You don't fuck out so hard for all the females to look like that. You were called out, of course. How could we also forget about how he got so bitchy about everyone calling out Banco jumping on the EI? But and I want to see what he says here. So you have this article from Ignorant. At least we are going to stick to that just to see what he said. So Tekken development chief Katsuhiro Harada announces Banco exit after 30 years. Katsuhiro Harada has announced his departure from Banco, having worked on the Tekken series for 30 years. So yeah, I'm not going to lie, he's remained there for a long time. The 55-year-old Japanese video game developer legend who working on all the Tekken games right up to the last year, Tekken 8, and it's going to be the last one, said in a statement posted on social media that the loss of close friends in his personal life and the retirement of death of senior colleagues had caused him to reflect on the time he has left as a creator. Probably would say refer to that one that it was the illustrator for the Tales games, Tales of Berseria. Yeah, that woman passed away sadly, and she used to play video games according to Harada with him. She was playing with him. Okay, so let's continue. Advice from Ken Kutaragi, the father of PlayStation, supported Harada in making the decision. He said Harada failed to reveal what he plans to do next, but he did not say he was retiring. Probably he say, okay, I fuck out here. It's over. I should not waste more time. I already gave what I have to give on Tekken 8. So that's where it's heading. So let's continue. Harada has had some have-fraught relationship with Tekken series and indeed Banco in recent years, and has spoken openly about the development difficulties he endured with the company. Most recently, Tekken 8 has caused a great deal of friction between players and the development team. Friction is to call it a little. It's been too generous. You know why I'm saying that? Because let's look at the perspective. Considering what I said about the game being toned down and what we say about the DLC, where what they did to Asuka, that we received a lot of backlash. Let's look into more of the other perspective, where that shit show when they said, "Okay, we failed to attract new players. We have a very bad monetization, and the only ones supporting us are our hardcore Tekken players. So you have the hardcore player Tekkens as your remaining audience. That's it, right? Keep them happy, nickel and diamond if they're willing to keep paying." That's what this mindset was heading to this game. But what happened with that fucking update when they changed the meta of the game? Because what they did is fucking change the input, as people were commenting, changing the input of a lot of characters and a lot of the balance of the game to make characters fucking broken in order for those normies, or well, what is not a fighting player fan or an avid player at all could win easily against the hardcore Tekken players. Imagine that, that game fucking spit in the face of those already loyalists of the Tekken franchise. So, calling it a friction. Ah, man, it's too generous. It's too fucking generous. But well, continue on. And Harada has stepped in multiple times on social media to address fan concern. Hey, he had time to report to that fucking left-wing grifter from the video game Corpo Legacy side that loves to attack a lot of the accounts that expose wokeness. And he was so eager to respond despite that account always respected Harada. He always appreciated Harada, but suddenly out of nowhere, just because he decided to listen to that fucking grifter, he attacked to that side. Okay, so I know where you are heading. I know which side you support at this point. You know, I'm not. I don't have sympathy for Harada at that point. He uses his image, and he should have been aware of this is where this is heading. At least he should have managed a better PR. In my opinion, he could have. He could have handled the situation way better. But yeah, Tekken 8 is a dumpster fire. And when we already said about the balance of the characters and the inputs to appeal to non-fighting players, then you saw the shit show which gave us fucking this. But well, he said, okay, I'm wasting my time at this point. So because yeah, I'm going to give a little credit to Harada. Yes, Banco, he had frictions with them. And even people that are fans of Tekken, the loyalists, have said that this guy had a lot of friction with Banco, and he had to beg to make Tekken 7 a reality after Tag Tournament 2. So, and yeah, Tag Tournament 2, I saw that game that had a lot of content I enjoyed, and I played with some friends. But yeah, a lot of time lived within a console generations, 2017, and to release Tekken 7, and then apparently trying to do a comeback, and well, Tekken 8 happened. I could understand to a certain degree that this guy say, you know what, I have seen a lot of my co-workers, friends from the same industry passing away. I think it's going to happen to me at some point, and I'm going to remain this company like fighting with a wall. Okay, he's going to leave. So at that point, I am understanding of that. So continue on. Perhaps the most high-profile example of this came in October last year when Harada addressed a row over the sale of a premium DLC stage for Tekken 8. After fans accusing Banco of corporate greed, his explanation for the DLC stage was basically became down to his role on Tekken within Banco, and his separation from the business side of the operation to focus on development. The structural error was a mistake. Harada admitted in it to he eventually deleted. And he confirmed plans to reorganize not only the Tekken business, but his role within to ensure the community expectations were to met in the future. I doubt that he's even going to chip that Tekken, and it's already exploited franchise. And considering the story of that content, like I think it should have been already ended with Tekken 7 when uh, with the Mishima family having finally one of those family moments when they beat each other's guts and calling it an end. Prolonging more age it already is. Yeah, but at least that's my opinion. Continue on. Here's what Harada said at the time. The Tekken project is divided into two companies, a game development studio and a publisher title responsible for game sales. At the time of the development and release of Tekken 7, the development and publishing companies were not separate. As some of you may know, I moved on to the development studio side a few years ago and have been focusing on maximizing the quality of the content, tech, graphics, etc. And to be honest, you haven't done a very good job at that. Continue on. Development side and publishing side each have their own roles, and there are differences in the way they think and their responsibilities. I, who should be the one to act as a bridge between the two, have not been able to properly participate in the publishing sales decision making process for Taken. Add to the mix what I know I already said it many times. Like, dude, why are you bringing this one? Okay, I'm bringing it because I already said Banco is a DEI infested company just as much as the Japanese legacy corpus, and even citing a screenshot of that headline from Bounding into Comics. Banco localization teams admits they ordered Japanese devs to censor their female characters' designs. We tell them that the cleavage is a bit too exposed or the kill is a bit too short. So even saying this kinda match. And the worst thing is trying to play ball or try to cover for Banco. He shall not say anything, not even engaging with that fucking grifter were going after Manco Lawyer, which one of those accounts that they were exposing the shit we have seen from Banco. But even after, yes, I understanding that yeah, the publisher can be, the executives can be a fucking pain in the ass. That's why I'm saying, you know what? Let the fucking legacy industry die, since they are not going to produce anything good or destroy what is remaining of their legacy IP's reputation. But well, let's continue. So, and there are differences in the way they think and their responsibilities. Yes, because if if you are trying to make a game that is to bring sales, but those sales are not to the standards of investors or are not even making a profit compared to other games and the cost budget development cycle, yes, no wonder that they will also go after your ass. But while continue on, I, who will be the one to act as a bridge between the two, have not been able to properly participate in the publishing sales decision making process for Tekken. As a result, I think that there were parts of the process that did not take the Tekken community opinions into account. Motherfucker, I have seen that side a lot. I was seeing from a lot of angles. Imagine you fucking up so hard to you make the algorithm on YouTube to recommend me a lot of Tekken videos, and none of them were Tekken 8. Hell, I was looking at, I think it was this character Dragunov, being modded to look like Kyo Kusanagi, and also modded to look like he's having the effects and the combat of the Kempo art style of Kyo Kusanagi from Kino Fighters. Yeah, and a lot of content from Tekken 7. I think it's pretty clear at this point that yes, you weren't listening, and also the publisher Banco wasn't listening at all to the Tekken community. What continue on? I think I failed to create an organizational structure that would allow me to oversee things beyond my own positions. Dude, you were in a fucking echo chamber, and of course the publisher he was going to make you blind uh, at all corners they could have, because the only thing they care about is for the sales and also having their DEI metrics intact. Again and fucking again. Oh well, continue on. One of my roles was to listen to the opinions of the community and reflect them not only on the content but also in the outgame. But I was clearly becoming passive. Well, passive, and you were receiving up the ass by Banco. Okay. Worrying about the relationship within companies and not exercising my role. And from now on, I will review this structure and change it to one that values the community as it did in the past. You know what? If you're leaving Banco, just let your that IP die, man. Uh, it's simple. Left and probably make something on your own and at a realistic perspective. So probably if you still have something of use left in you to produce something good, there are still people out there that will support that one. I would not, but I know there are others that they will do it. And also they have griefs with Banco for obvious reasons. More than me saying DEI, it's also the monetizations that Banco has been handling. Well, yes, continue on. It was a typically frank statement from Harada, who was never shy to criticize his paymasters at Banco over their management of Tekken and the company's various fighting game franchises. In just last year, for example, Harada was remarkably candid in a discussing why Soul Calibur disappeared. And at that point, I hope that it remains like that. I don't want Soul Calibur to be destroyed, and has spoken about trying and failing to get the KFC mascot Colonel Sanders in Taken. He was a joke. I remember him engaging with that before all the fucking shit show I said about that grifter. Continue on. Here is Harada exit in full statement. I'd like to share that I'll be leaving Banco at the end of current year. Uh, with the Tekken series reaching its 30th anniversary, an important milestone for a project I devoted much of my life to, I felt this was the most fitting moment to bring one chapter to a close. My roots lie in the days when I supported small local tournaments in Japanese arcades in small halls and community centers overseas. I still remember carrying arcade cabinets by myself, encouraging people to please try Tekken and directly facing the players right in front of me. Yeah, engaging. At least, yeah, you advertise and engage with the fan base and the community, even if there are going to be some bad apples. You still have to have your front at all height, but also with understanding of, yeah, giving what they demand. But continue on. The conversations and atmosphere we share in those places became the core of who I am as a developer and a game creator. Even as times changed, those experiences have remained at the center of my identity. And even after the tournament scene grew much larger, many of you continue to treat me like an old friend, challenging me at the venues, inviting me out for drinks at bars. Those memories are also deeply precious to me. In recent years, I experienced the loss of several close friends in my personal life and my professional life. I've witnessed the retirement of passing many senior colleagues who I deeply respect. Those accumulated events made me reflect on the quote unquote time I have left as a creator. Yeah, I knew it was heading to that. During that period, I sought advice from Ken Kutaragi, who I respect and thought where he were another father, and received invaluable encouragement and guidance. Invaluable encouragement and guidance, excuse me there. His words quietly supported me in making the decision. Over the past 4 to 5 years, I gradually handed over all of my responsibilities as well as the stories and world building I oversaw to the team, bringing me to the present day. Looking back, I was fortunate to work on an extraordinary variety of projects, VR titles such as Summer Lessons, Pokémon Tournament, the Soul Calibur series, and many others, both inside and outside of the company. Summer Lessons, it's like that one where you can see girls from high school. Yeah, that anime waifu game. Yeah, I think I heard that one. Or I mentioned it at one time. Continue on. Each project was full of new discoveries and learning, and every one of them became a replicable experience for me. To everyone who has supported me, to communities around the world, and to all the colleagues who have walked alongside me so many years, I offer my deepest gratitude. I share more about my next steps at a later date. Thank you very much for everything. So yeah, there is not much to say here. The guy was there for a very long time, but yeah, Tekken 8 is a dumpster fire. Even to just end this. So yeah, people sharing the man who took on Virtua Fighter and won. Yeah, Virtua Fighter. He Tekken was a competitor for Virtua Fighter and won at 10 because well Sega crippled themselves. Yeah, we already know that story. But you see that screenshot, and well, you have someone saying summer lessons. The title being stuck on PS4 PSVR is a crime. It should come to Steam VR or Oculus. It's PS4 exclusive for all eternity. Fuck. Even if they manage to pirate all the files to put it on the 7 Cs, it still is going to be a problem because that fucking peripheral, the PS4 VR, man. And I remember that shit was absolutely expensive. Man. This one saying family, so maybe Tekken will go back to being a good game instead of just a juggling simulator. Someone must make Tekken Girl's breast great again. Yeah, I agree with that statement. The world the Mafia have done damage to his brand. I agree with that one because he also has body type AB nonsense. I'm wondering what this means for Tekken. I think Harada was one of the last people talking to devs out of making Tekken some Soul Calibur X Dead or Alive infused garbage. I feel we may be cooked. We may be cooked, yeah, he said that. Fighting against Javier Rock now and this match is the only answer because the Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear, and now Tekken have nothing. Yes, they have nothing, and also it's kinda the way how fighting games are heading. I mean, they should go back to be edgy. You know, instead of focusing on the hardcore FGC crowd, focusing on a more casual base, but giving stuff that they would love to see. Hell, man, are kinda hard, but you know, fucking Narcs is so retarded nowadays that it's going to keep that franchise buried. But there you have it. I already said what I have to say here, and we covered what Harada has said. And and I'm going to be honest, I want to see what he's going to do next because if he creates something outside of Banco, I want to see if he succeeds or fuck it up because that's a trend with legacy creators. Only time will tell. That's it. Thanks for watching and please take care.